a time instead of only having the 3 wards from face down. You have a habit of walking too close to bushes to place wards in them. Shirley's catch him out. That could have been a Shirley's plus an E-cord and you could have caught him. Exhausted caught him. Exhausted, yeah. You should have exhausted the time earlier. You also didn't use your rocket there at all. You should have used your rocket at the very beginning of the fight. But yeah, you should have Shirley's, and then put an E-cord down on Maokai. You're not burning any important combat cooldowns on him, so if they turn the fight around on you, like you burned an E-cord, so you don't get to put a power cord down, you don't get to put a W cord down on one of their damage dealers, but you're going to be able to get a lot of just auto attack damage off onto him. But yeah, you should have exhausted Wukong way earlier. As you didn't have flash there, so when you do have flash, like as far as I'm concerned, it's totally acceptable to flash into the middle of the enemy team to exhaust something. Like if it's important to get the exhaust off on them, and it's pretty important to get the exhaust off onto your phone. And then also you forgot about your rocket. You should twin shadows as soon as it's up. Okay, yeah, you guys are fine. He turned. If you had continued to chase, you should have just put your twin shadows down on him. And now you should absolutely buy an Oracle. Yeah, you have so much gold. You should buy an Oracle, and honestly, just buy an Oracle, a Blue Elixir, and a stack of 5 pink cords. There's no reason not to because you're full build now. Actually, you could buy both elixirs, yeah. You should really sell your Sightstone to have more wards at a time, though.
Purple team has slain the dragon.
I actually might opt for the flash cooldown boots, but Alacrity is okay. You could also maybe go for Captain if no one already has Captain. Because, wow, that was extremely stupid, bye-bye. When a game is this late and death timers are like a minute plus, don't ever be by yourself. Don't just walk in the enemy jungle because you feel like it. Like, never ever do something like that. Just play really safe. Like, honestly, even Ezreal being there is not great. Like, you have vision here, but you don't have vision of them coming this way, like. Especially with the existence of Twin Shadows as an item, like, that makes it, extremely less safe to be, like, in your jungle or in the enemy jungle alone, like, Leaking, because if they Twin Shadows you and then they get that slow off, like, first of all, it allows them to have vision of you wherever you are in the jungle, and on top of that, it's going to put the slow down on you, so it's as if your entire jungle is warded, and then they get a free slow on you, too. And at this point in the game, you can start deciding whether you think you have the optimal 6-item build. And you can, like, you can consider getting, like, selling one of your items or something different. I think this build is pretty good. I don't necessarily think that Twin Shadows is the best use of your money. I think a Zeke's might be more worthwhile. Or you could get, like, I like getting, like, if I have unlimited money, I like getting a Frozen Mallet on my support. Or you could do an Icewind Gauntlet, just having that slow. Because, like, it doesn't matter who I'm auto-attacking, because my auto-attacks aren't doing that much damage to anyone. I just, like, you do want to be auto-attacking during an entire fight, because it's free damage that's not happening if you're not auto-attacking. But if you should try to not fight until Ezreal has GA. Get exhaust, make sure you get your Crucible off on someone. You can honestly just use it for the heal. That was a really good Crucible, yeah. That was an amazing Crucible, actually. So now I would, like, if someone has a GA like that, and there's no enemy minions around, get an E-Cord up, and then just A-click onto the ground. Like, that's just a good thing to do, so that, as soon as they respawn, you're definitely gonna auto-attack them and definitely get that E-Cord off on them. Yeah, okay, so other thing, getting a Frozen Mallet, I like doing that on support, because then I can help my carry kite anyone, it doesn't matter who. You also forgot to use your locket during that last fight, by the way, and you didn't realize either. But when they were sort of engaging on you, you could have Shirley's. So when Vi was diving, you could have Shirley's and then flashed and then chained your ult with Vi's CC and allowed her to do a lot of extra damage without the enemy squishies being able to retaliate. And like, what you would have done is you would have flashed, ulted, and then you would turn back and then helped the rest of your team not die. So you would have gotten your exhaust down on Wukong, and then Crucible whoever needed it. That's just like one thing that you can do. It ended up not being necessary, but that's one pretty good way to use your ultimate to help your divers if they have CC, is to chain your own CC with theirs. So if they get, because that Vi has a lot of burst, so it allows her burst to happen, but it allows her to do a lot more damage before she has to worry about tanking them, because she has a huge amount of damage here. So yeah, overall, I think you played really good that game. I think your build wasn't the greatest. I think you could have been a lot stronger in game in lane, and you only ended up doing well in lane because they played badly. But your team fighting is pretty good. Keep auto-attacking more. Definitely keep auto-attacking more. It's good that you don't ult immediately and you hold it for when you have a good ult, but I think that your threshold for what a good ult is a little bit too high, and you give up a lot of good ults that, like, so you wait until you can have a fantastic ult, and sometimes it's going to happen and sometimes it's not going to happen, and sometimes you wait too long for your ult. And in particular with that one fight that happened around here, you didn't ult Wukong until after he was able to get his ult up already, and then he was just doing a lot of damage to you, excuse me, and you might have been able to burst him down if you had ulted him earlier, or at least your team would have had the chance to reposition better. So yeah, I think that Twin Shadows wasn't the best choice of item. Like, having Shirley's and Twin Shadows just feels a little bit overkill, especially since your team wasn't really trying to find them out in the jungle. If you had been doing a lot of trying to catch them out in the jungle, then that's fine, but just for chasing down lane, you don't really need both Twin Shadows and Shirley's. And this item could have been like, it could have been a Zeke's, or it could have been like a Frozen Heart. Like, your team doesn't have a Frozen Heart, you could have gotten a Frozen Heart. Just anything to help your team actually win team fights better. Because, so like the last fight, you guys won pretty decisively, but there's a pretty long period before that where you won 2 team fights in a row out of misplay on their part and pretty bad positioning on their part, but like they were really, really strong. And so having an extra defensive item for your team could have made a large difference. Like, Shirley's and Twin Shadows are good if the important thing is picking your battles, but they're not that great if the important thing is winning your battles. And the Shirley's is pretty much enough to allow you to pick your battles, since you were pretty much never going into their jungle. If you had been going into the jungle more, then sure, Twin Shadows is okay. Another thing is that at the very end of the game, when you were complete build, so like the Sightstone is basically just a GP10. The 300 HP is not as important as being able to have a whole bunch of wards at a time. So just have the stack of 5 wards instead of the stack of basically only 3 wards. But yeah, you did like really well that game as well. So good job.